first one, when he says the no the first time, it's awesome. And even to the point where he goes, Caesar is home, I think, is the second phrase. Yes. It feels so natural. Again, it's part of that natural evolution, it feels like, for the character. And it's powerful, I think.
That's terrific. Thank you. Well, I mean, we had to be very careful and very considered. You know, this is a summer blockbuster, and we're there to entertain, and we're there to get a large audience into it, to watch a movie that excites them, that is visceral, that is, you know, that is visually ambitious, and is a spectacle in many ways. But for me, the great blockbusters, you know, and Planet of the Apes was a terrific blockbuster of its day. It was the Star Wars of its day.
It grossed $32 million.
Exactly. You know, it did. You know, it did have people around the block going to see it. So, but I think you know, we sometimes in Hollywood, I guess, have got to a stage now where we lose track of what these movies are for. They're not video games. They're not sort of. They shouldn't be visual sequences just strung together in one long line. They should be at the end of the day great stories, and that's why I think the filmmaker of our times and will always be considered, you know, the filmmaker of our times is someone like Spielberg, because he has that ability to tell wonderful stories on a large scale. And that's what we were aiming for with this. You know, we wanted to tell a great story that was paced, that actually, you know, you see within this protagonist everything that is done to him, everything that happens to him in a way builds and leads to ultimately.
Even before he's born, with his mother and being hunted down and taken. And
I mean, not to get too kind of crazily sort of go off track, but as I was making it, I was thinking, in a way, this is, you know, like all great mythologies, it's born out of, you know, if you look at the Christ story, if you look at any kind of aspect of religion, it's sort of like, you know, before Christ there was John the Baptist or whatever, and in a way his mother is John the Baptist, the one who's sort of speaking about the revolution, who's trying to kind of break the bonds and fails. That's and then the Messiah comes later, and you know, it's one of those great opportunities, I think, for telling a story where we have really terrifically drawn, rendered characters that happen to be apes, that in the future, that ape civilization that is to come will look back at those characters and will see them as, you know, the heroes of the revolution, and they'll build statues to Buck, and they'll, you know, and that's what I always had one eye on when I was telling the story, you know.
Sort of the future of, in a sense. I mean,
where we're going, you know, because we want to grow and evolve from in hopefully the films that will come after this to the '68 original,